How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a wonderful day. I thank you for checking out the video. It means a lot to me. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to check in and watch this video. So hey, big shout out to you for just being awesome, and I appreciate it. Now, in this video, one thing I wanted to discuss that has been something I've thought about lately and I really was into when I first was checking out the game was the difficulty of the game. Just the overall gameplay difficulty, the way the AI was designed, the way the game would get harder or easier or, whatever, difficulty. And I was really intrigued when the devs and stuff mentioned, improved AI, better AI, all that stuff before the game came out. And I was like, ooh, this could be really good, because I don't know, anybody that played the PSP version knows how the AI was in that game, and it was, to call it exploitable would be a compliment. I mean, you had to get some mods, like on PC for, some ROM versions, some emulated versions to make the game any bit more challenging. Because once you figured out how easy the AI was to exploit in the PSP version, which I believe most people could find out without ever looking anything up for the most part, it really wasn't that much of a challenge. Even if you didn't exploit the AI, it was pretty predictable. You kind of figured it out. And a lot of games in this genre, the strategy RPG genre, or just RPGs in general, or strategy games in general, you know how the AIs are. They cheat. They get all these little buffs to make them harder. So they'll get extra resources, or their stats will just be higher, or things like that. But the AI still does the same things and processes its movements and attacks the same way and doesn't adapt to the player. Now, I want to give a little bit of a shout out to the AI in this game. I know it's not perfect. I know people have already exploited certain things about it, and they've been able to manipulate it in some ways. But I feel, especially as a new player, like if you've never played Tactics Ogre, you probably think this AI might even be too hard. I even saw people when the game first came out on different forums and websites literally asking about difficulty options because of that first fight with the Lich or the Necromancer. What was his name? I don't even know. But he was right in Chapter 1, and he summoned all the extra undead, and people couldn't, the victory condition was just to defeat him. And people couldn't figure that out, and they were struggling, and it was kind of like, I don't know if it was funny, but it was definitely interesting that, I beat him on my first try, but I just went for him. I said, forget all these ads, I'm just going for the guy. Maybe I'd have a couple units down, but, they didn't die, so we were all good. But, that was a big spike for a lot of people, and then some of the other early bosses like Zabos and Chapter 2, I saw a lot of people making posts and stuff, complaining about how hard it was. But, I feel like maybe the beginning's a little bit rougher, too, because you don't have as many options for classes or units or builds. So that can always play into it. But even once you get further into the game, even the post-game, end-game, it's relatively difficult for most of the time. Unless you are some legend, like I know a lot of you are, a lot of you veterans that are just like, bro, Tactics Ogre is the easiest game. Let me tell you, I am the Giga Chad of everything. Like I close my eyes, man. I got the best gear, the best weapons. I run Liches and Necromancers, and I got all the top tier units, and I've never struggled in the game. I think this is a kid's game, Well, that's good for you. I'm glad you are part of the 1% in a game that already has a small community that is just so elite that you've never struggled in the game. That is impressive. I wish I was that good, let me tell you. But I feel a lot of the average players out there, the average Joes, because I don't know if people know this, but a lot of new people came to this game. They never played the PSP. They definitely never played Ogre Battle 64. Like, they are 100% new players that have never touched this series. And I think the difficulty is perfect for them. And I think that it, like I said, as long as it can be exploited a little bit, some of the cheesy tactics you can do. But it's phenomenal. The difficulty is phenomenal in this game. There is nothing wrong with the way it works. Yeah, it has some flaws and some issues. But at the end of the day, I really feel like the AI and the difficulty are some of the best in the series. It's not perfect, even though I think I said it was perfect. It's not, but it's very close, and it's probably some of the best we've seen. hopefully games in this genre can eventually get the difficulty right and get it to where it's not so overwhelming or the AI has to cheat so much just to do anything. As you know, late game in this, you're fighting enemies that are 10 levels higher than you, 15 levels higher than you. That's how they make it more difficult. So, I mean, that's kind of the same difference I said earlier where they just increase the stats of the units or, make them hit harder, so. But hey, what do you guys think? Do you guys think the game's too easy? Do you think it's too hard? Let me know. Let me know. I'm very curious. I thought the game was pretty much just right. Obviously there were some cheese tactics you could do, but, I mean, that's every game. I mean, it's a single-player game. People are going to figure out ways to cheese it. That's just how it is. So, again, let me know what you think. Too easy, too hard? Is the difficulty just right? Like I said, I think they did it pretty well, and way better than most games in the genre. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. And until then, I will see you guys in the next one. Later, guys. Peace.